position here. 2v2 as Adam B just immediately gets rid of Simple. Bomb planted in towards Market. And for Andrew, he's trying to take the space, and he's been able to do it. 2 kills immediately out of Andrew. Makes it a quad kill.
That really is. It's like a mint instead of like a sugary sweet.
Right, let's see what he can do with it. There you go. He's able to get rid of Andrew. He's run out of ammo, and that's not the luxury with the CZ. Sassanito instantly slides out with the MAC-10. You might be more familiar with the Steam names of BC Game. Who is Pizzaza?
That's Prime Tabs.
Okay, that makes more sense. Fortunately enough for BC Game, as soon as you get by Adam BCZ, there's not a whole lot of resistance on this bomb site, and it goes about as you would expect. If you're OG, you're hoping for maybe 1 or 2 more kills on the way out. You just don't really want to fall to Sassanito's MAC-10. It says it's going to be Nexus Galil. There's that kill we were talking about, but it gets traded out quite quickly by Prime.
We'll find out mid. Check out this triple window setup early on just to do the spam, and well, it's not the triple setup that gets the dink, it's the single one of Nikodas.
Yeah, look, you see 3 players in towards window. You hear a lot, and instantly BC Game are like, okay, we'll go mid to B. We'll immediately throw it into this execute. We'll make the rotations come over. And I was going to say you don't need to commit into the site, but Prime Tabs is already out in the open. He's got rid of Spook. But there's plenty more reinforcements where that came from, but it might not matter. Prime Tabs is once again carving open OG, a Rosdos back site. Just trying to hold on. Give space for maybe Krisen to rotate in, but he's running out of time. There goes Krisen towards the mid lurk, but it's the double swing that prevails for BC Game. Krisen's position is known. It's a tricky 1v2.
There's a chance for him, though. I think there is a kit on one of the players on site. But a very difficult retake for him with this space that Prime Taps has taken into market. He's seeing no one is coming from that position, and now Krisen's spotted. I don't think there's a way in. Not when you don't know where Prime Taps is. So it looked a little dicey with that first kill coming through. Sassanito going down after the dink from Nikodas. That fast call, as you mentioned, off realizing that many players are spamming top middle. There's some space on B. And even with the fast rotations, Prime Tabs bails them out.
Yeah, Prime Tabs is able just to be sort of unknown, just in the midst of all the chaos on the floor.
Moment, Andy's just going to post up middle. The rest of the squad is making their moves towards B, which would be a good call.
Yeah, this is also just creating conditioning as well. It's one of those things where you've had so much success. You had the pistol round that ends on the B bomb, so you had this first gun round where you immediately flex it into a mid to B, and now you're just reinforcing the idea that you're going to have to prioritize in the future, OG, potential reinforcements, a double setup over towards the B bomb site, where that means one player is not really as committed in towards short. Even have a third player, the AWP, flexing over a little bit later in Nikodas. It's already sort of reinforcing ideas here for the defense. It's making them inflexible, and that's exactly what OG don't want to be.
Chance to do some damage here, or maybe even find success on this retake with Krisen finding that kill onto Simple. He can start to scale. They picked up that extra rifle in towards short as well. Now, there's not a kit, but if they can just find the kills, it might not matter. Nexa is all alone, needs to delay so that bomb can't be defused, but he doesn't have a chance. And BC Game, they don't have the space in the retake when Simple goes down. So do their chances. Could see how fast Andrew is scaled. He's already in the connector. Now, Krisen, how aware if he is this? You can see, not overextending, but he might give up his life here. No! Crouch peeks under. Andrew thought he had the timing of a lifetime. It's Krisen that catches him out, then disengage. You've seen these players start to scale. Nexter has found some success. You can remove Krisen. That opens up this bomb site and allows the bomb to potentially go down.
This is really difficult for OG because as soon as they deal with one player, the next wave of onslaught from BC Game just appears on the bomb site. Rosdos at least finally alleviates some pressure by getting rid of Nexa. That allows Prime Tabs to grab an upgrade from a Deagle. Now all these players are sort of stuck in one area, sandwich, ramp. You've really got to play off each other effectively here. Plenty of time. There's also utility and kits for OG. They start to make their way through in towards CT. Prime Tap's first point of contact. First test pass for OG. Now they can make things even more difficult for BC Game, but Simple alleviates everything. Eliminates them in the smoke. He doesn't even need to see his opponent. And Sassanito will play off his...
So good job from BC Game with limited weapons, with losing that opening kill to scale off it and find success. Andu again looking to get very aggressive in the middle. And Sassanito has opened up space on B. They could potentially explode, but look at the rotations. Might just wait to see what Andu can do, but they're running out already. They want to go on to B, and there are all the CTs here. Every single one is present. And they're starting to find their frags. The kills coming through for the CTs. Andu's flank will arrive. And the spin around doesn't find success, but Andu does. Paints a pretty picture until he's taken down and it leaves it to Simple. The 1v1. After Spook falls, the swing out, and it's all too easy for Simple. And all four move towards B. Off that one kill on Torostas. I guess it's clear that BC Game want to follow through. This is an interesting push. Adam B and Kristen have found a lot of space. T should be aware of this possibility. You can see they are approaching this. I was going to say slowly, but then, okay, they do pull out the guns, the 5.7 and the MP9 combined for one, but Kristen doesn't get away. And with those two players falling, you know, there might be some space over at A.
Absolutely. You've just created a runway for you to go on towards this A bomb site. You know rotations are either going to be here already. So that's why these players of BC Game have just slowed down. They want to group up to make sure that they're tradable. Or the rotations are going to be a little bit delayed. They've just entered the line in the sand where BC Game cross ramp and these players move in from CT. Nikodos trying to be a thorn in BC Game's side, but that molly is brilliant. Assassinito's already got rid of Spook. It should be just a cleanup crew now on site, and Simple's even running through the fire and the flames just to guarantee an eco kill. And he'll get one.
Swing is about to come through. Waiting for Prime Taps to come around that corner. Nexus holding the flashbang, so how good are these? What's the timing look like? This is opportunity on the first, but he will connect on that second. Ollied off, falls back. You've got Adam B tucked in towards Firebox. Is there going to be any sort of utility? Not needed. Exodus spams him out and keeps on going through the smoke. A break on the next one does reveal himself, and he gets caught because of it. With Sassanito falling, it does fall to one player, and with three that swing. Andu drops a couple of smokes in middle, so it's going to keep some attention here while the rest of the troops try out this A bomb site once more.
Still paranoid about B. Another re-smoke goes in. That means there's one less smoke for the retake effort. But Sassanito and Nex after. Nikodos is able to get rid of Simple. Both AWPs are now dropped on the floor. Krisen with a pocket of space in between the fire and the flames. And now he has to be the one to do the bulk of the damage. They don't know he's here. And they've not planted for themselves. But Krisen is able to get rid of Nexa. Erosdos on the way. He groups up in tandem and then steps in Krisen's shadow. Let's try and make this work. No smoke, as mentioned, for this defuse, but there is a kit in play. But Andu's already disengaged, as is the rest of BC Game. They're all playing these really horrible angles where you got to go deep to invest, which burns more time off the clock. Andu will now reveal himself. That gives Krisen a chance just to escape and save. There is no time left on this clock. BC Game, they allow OG to get one round, and then they reply instantaneously with one of their own, and that just keeps the economy in a fragile state.
Yeah, it's exactly what happened the last time she got on the board as well. Bit of a tough day at the races. It's kind of the two stars of this team that are having slow starts.
This is really simple Counter-Strike when it comes to the call-in at its finest, but it has been the most efficient. They've gone A few rounds now, so OG have reacted accordingly. They've been starting 3 players over towards A. You take one tick in the Molotov. If you're Sassanito, that immediately causes paranoia. A third player has rotated. Nikodos over with the AWP, just staring at the B apartments. And that means potentially there's space here in towards middle. So everything falls silent. OG again with a lack of information. And they're just leaving A. They're completely abandoning this A bomb site.
Well, fortunately for them, this game not in a position to immediately go there. And I'm just going to move forward to get this space. Krisin, not sure what he was looking at there. That's interesting. It's kind of caught between like looking to the left and right side of the boxes, but I guess just didn't realize he was potentially revealed there. So that's a freebie. All you need to do is just don't go B. Just don't go B, and the round's won. And with Prime Taps's lurk, ready to strike from Palace. Looks pretty set. The destination is correct. A, where they're going. OG hear the smokes land, and they realize, well, we might just have to save this one.
Yeah, look, the money's not in a good spot anyway, so it actually does make sense for OG to probably gamble one bomb site, even though it looks a little bit unorthodox. Reminds me a lot of like Cadian call-in, where you are on the CT side, you over-rotate to one bomb site. If you don't see anything, then maybe you over-invest and rotate back and have this gamble. But that's the first time as well BC Game have thrown a fake in this half. That's the first time a smoke has landed on a bomb site and they've not gone to it. So OG fall for it, hook, line, and sinker. Not really too sure, as you say, what Krisin was up to in top middle. Trying to be a little bit intrusive, trying to gain some information for his team. As the leader, tries to take the burden of response roles that you're in. So the floor effectively should look very familiar to what we get out of BC Game, but we're not achieving that right now.
I do again, going for this really pacey play. The flashbangs have set him up, but the spam good from Adam B. You can see they were aware of that possibility. Even Nikodol's looking down with his scope and got a chance there, but not quite able to find purchase. Sanito, maybe his lurk. Looking for Spook. Oh, no, it's around that corner and walks straight into Nikodos's scope. So far so good for OG into this round. Simple now starts to get aggressive. But he gets caught out from Adam B. Just a little bit too revealed from Ticket. One by one. Domino's fall. Prime Taps finally answers back with one of his own. But I don't think Nex is going to get this down. No, Nikodos is already rotated. You can see what the intention was from this round, but as those two elements in connector fall, so does the rest of the squad. G should comfortably find this third. No more casualties would be ideal for them. Question is, who gets the kill? Prime Taps is just hiding out. They really don't want to lose another player here. I don't think they will. Prime Taps is actually just going to walk away. Because him living is actually pretty important when you look at the economy. He'll need to drop an AK over to one of his teammates.
I can't believe we've just been allowed to walk out. Outpour out of Palace and Ramp, but the addition of Nikodos being in connector and Adam B being there for the smoke spam support really aids out, and then that just enables Nikodos to move to hold Palace, and the idea of the round for BC Game is shut down pretty quickly. This one is very direct. They go in A immediately.
Hope's not here. And scales out quickly, but it's a double setup in towards Ticket that needs to be broken. One player's been spotted on the jump, but that might just bait in Krisin. Any flashbang to set up Andu, not needed. Okay, the flash does come over. And B trades out, and then Rostov slips in, so not expecting that third element to appear. Bombs down.
With the flank.
Right sentry. Yeah, and through the Palace, there is going to be this play from Spooks. They need to find these frags, and they're not quite connecting them. Nexter and Simple. Not exactly revealed to Spook in Palace. Simple's just trying to find some way to enable Nexa to close this round. And he's just going to throw the flames forward, but it's not going to matter. There's a smoke grenade. They can defuse it. And so OG will at the very least walk away with 4 here versus OG. That may be a bit of a fake out over to A. All right, well, BC have bought on it. Jeez, they're fully invested. We're simplifying the kill. I mean, I guess you don't have the kit. That's the tricky thing here. They are going to start to run over. They realize, yeah, okay, wool over our eyes. Bomb takes a little to go down. They're going to arrive and mark it just as it's planted.
It's ridiculous how many rotates there were there. Not a single player on this B bomb site to greet OG, but it'll be Nexa that opens the door of the idea of this retake. Adam B trying his best to isolate these kills, but he can't do it. And BC Game has started to overrun and retake this bomb site. Krisen started off doing some good work, but it's Simple's dualies to again chime in. It was a quad kill for Andu on the T side on B, and that was a quad kill for Simple to retake with a blom.
Yeah, 2 kills per gun, 4.
Overwhelm them with the quantity of players we've got. And everyone was just committed to the idea of getting in the bomb site, taking as much space as possible. Now it's OG, they're going to try and get in towards A, but getting past Simple's spray is another task. Spook has been having a little bit of a shocker on Mirage, and that continues here through no fault of his own in round 14. Space at least has been taken for OG, but it would need to be another retake here for BC Game.
Yeah, bombs down, but still a very difficult post-plant for you, especially when they're not planted kind of reverse default. It's just default, so this should be, you think, fairly straightforward. Thing comes through, but Simple finds his second spam. Actually, it's Simple that finishes the job too. He just wants to keep getting kills, and he's fighting them. You know who this last player is, you can just stick the defuse. Double digits without really needing to break a sweat.
Galil's across the board, utility sparse.
OG have been going for a lot of investments. That's a nice opening kill. Simple gets some damage off, but quick flick over to the head. At least Andrew will answer back. No one plays low, so yeah, they're just going to collapse on towards middle. They crush the T's. Krisen will scramble away. I'll still say has taken the space on B in the meanwhile, so he's managed to get some success off this lurk. X is low. Now gets quite dicey for BC Game with the position that the T's have managed to find.
It gets tricky because if Nexa was jiggling over towards B apartments and he could see Krisen cross or he hears him jump out the window, then Aladose's position is going to be a lot better. But instead, he doesn't take it. He wants to back up to be with his teammate. So now it is a true 2 versus 3. The flank is quick. He reclaims control into the market. But now Sassanito is going to be aware because no one had rotated from BC Game until that bomb had been planted. Andu's now known. Krisen jumps out the window. And the molly is enough to force Arazose not into a fight, but into an uncomfortable situation. Andu is just trying to take as much space as possible. Low HP of Krisen finally gets dealt with, and Sassanito will also dispatch of Aradose, who was stuck because of that molly in towards the doors. Another attempt at a round for OG. Another successful retake for BC Game.
Yeah, you can see just how fast Andu was.
And going towards market. Then he gets a kill, then that is the space naturally generated. It's another one of these fast plays. We talk about the previous, but we're right in the present. Adam B looking to take space, but it's Simple spam that gets rid of one, but quickly OG reply with a man advantage, and Krisen can't overwhelm Sassanito. And Prime Taps has just walked through the CT smoke created by himself.
Boom.
Ridiculous.
This new squad. Fast again, but Nikodor's punished. 2 players ready to greet him as he barrels up the ramp.
I got Simple in towards connector. They're aware that there could be this possibility of someone jumping in towards the window. So instead, Sassanito's going to bolster the attack by almost baiting Simple in. Tucks over towards stairs. And then the nade just lands flush shot on Spook. He's just been getting bullied on Mirage. And it's not really his fault. He's just been getting completely shut down. Simple now has a little glance, doesn't clear the complete corner. And little does he know that if he goes round that corner, there are 4 players of OG waiting in the wings. The rest of the squad, the last remnants to try and earn themselves at least 1 round here on this T side. But no one is giving over a fight. No one is giving over anything. So now you are just stuck in the desolate space in the middle of Mirage. And as soon as you pull out your smoke grenade, that's where Andu swings. Because, of course, that is the nature of CS2 timing. I'll also actually trade him out, but it's a 3v4. Nexa then just walks in and backstabs all of these players bombing.